God the government, government the God. I mean, really? Ain't it just the same thing? Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. A year ago, I had a near-death-like experience, and ever since then, I could pick up on energies, and I could even hear from God itself. I was told it would take my soul 14,422 lifetimes to get it together. So I decided to start a social media platform so I can help more people speed this thing on up and finally get the heck up off this planet. Y'all, it's stressful being human. Ready to go. Hey guys, welcome back to Instructions for Humanity. It is your girl Tahirah. It's like I've been away for a while. What have I been doing? Guys, you know I was on that death fast, guys. Now, I set out to do a fast. I didn't know how long I was going to be doing it, but I wanted to break the body down. You have to do that from time to time so you can understand your true essence, and that your body is not running off of the food source, but it is source itself. That is how your body is being nourished and being fed. And this fast, it definitely proved that to me, because I had no more physical energy left. It was all source that was carrying me at the end. The last 8 days of this 30-day fast was crazy. But guys, the messages that came through was just amazing. I had a whole conversation with Source, the feminine and the masculine aspect. We talked for about 30 minutes. I asked them about everything, even about sex out there in the multiverse, and they answered. We had a great conversation. So that video will be coming up. But guys, you see, I'm in my natural state. I don't have on any makeup. I just feel, so cleansed and so purified. I got my feathers in, representing my Aboriginal roots, and I'm just feeling really, really good today. So guys, we are going to talk about how your government is God, and how God is just the government. Or is the government God? Or is God the government? I don't know, but it's all convoluted. But that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, let me give a disclaimer. First, I'm going to have to talk to you about who is predicating as the God. Let me give a disclaimer to all of you, all my religious people out there, all of my Christian people. Shout out to you guys. You guys are the biggest lovers. So definitely holding the energy down, the love energy down on this crazy place that we call Earth. So I do appreciate that. But guys, when I talk about the person, the entity predicating as the heavenly God, you have to understand that when we speak of this person or this entity called God, religions automatically lump, especially the Christian religion, will lump God in with the heavens. But those two things are totally separate. The heaven is a realm. It is literally Metatron's cube. It is shaped like a cube. And once you just change your perception, you can actually see it. It's right here in this realm where we are. So when I'm talking about, I'm going to have to go into the Demiurge and give you guys a background about who the Demiurge is. The Demiurge created this physical world that we are living in, and we're thinking that it is the God that we are praying to, but guys, it is not. We have thousands and thousands of gods throughout recorded history, right? So those gods do exist on another space-time continuum, in other dimensions, guys. But we're going to talk about the Demiurge because it is affecting how we are living here on this physical plane that we call Earth. So I'm not talking about the God that you're praying to. I'm talking about the Demiurge that has been predicating as the Heavenly Father. But heaven is not of God. I'm sorry, I have to say it. It's a trick bag. They want to lure you there, steal your energy, keep you recycled, and bring you back down here to keep going to and from Earth school, spirit school, which is heaven. Earth school, spirit school, Earth school, spirit school. And the thing about it is, until you get out of that rotation, you don't even get to enter into the real universe. Yes, guys, that's one of the things that I learned during my 30-day water fast. It's not just the heavenly realm and the astral realm that's part of the matrix. This whole universe that you're living in is not real. And once I tell you the story about the Demiurge, you're going to understand why you are in a simulated universe and why it's very dangerous to let us into the real universe. And you're going to understand that after I explain to you about the Demiurge. Okay, so This is the story about the Demiurge. This is the entity that has been predicating in the heavens, pretending to be your heavenly Father, intercepting those prayers. Okay, this is how it all went down. So when we think about source, guys, source is the one divine mind. So I always think about source as a ball of consciousness. Now, Spirit told me this directly. Feminine aspects sit on the left side. Masculine is on the right. So essentially, there's mother sits on the left, father sits on the right, and their spirit bodies are intertwined. Their spirit essence, soul essence, is intertwined. So they are married in that way. So each and every one of us spark souls. If you come from the cosmic source energy God, which is the one divine mind, we all have a masculine counterpart and a feminine counterpart. And that is how I think we get the essence of marriage down here. So things have to be made out of order. The universe is about balance and it's all about order, guys. So this Demiurge was seeded just from one aspect. It was only seeded out of the mother. And that mother, we can call her the Great Mother. People call her Sophia. But it was seeded without that permission of the male counterpart. So essentially, guys, the Demiurge is a bastard child. And I'm not saying this to demean anyone who grew up without a father or anything like that. I'm trying to let you guys understand that the reason why we have all that down here is because this is the energy that we're living under. The Demiurge is a bastard child because it was seeded just from the feminine. It did not have the ingredients of the masculine. And so by this Demiurge being created in that way, there was no balance. It was not created whole and perfect like we are, as spark souls from the cosmos. So this Demiurge wanted to run amok. It wanted to prove itself that it was more than the bastard that it is. And so he ran amok, got pushed way out here to this side of the multiverse, and then built himself a kingdom. Essentially, him being in that Metatron's cube, because heaven does look like a cube, and it's right here in this realm. It's actually protecting the rest of the multiverse. Because the thing about it is, if you are part of the one divine mind, or even though he was seeded just from the feminine aspect, he still is part of source. So he still has power, great universal power, right? The power that we all have. And that's one of the reasons why we are in these bodies. That's one of the reasons why he wanted to create the material world, you know? And because he got mad at us when he found out that we were seeded out of the balance of the masculine and the feminine. And that's how the material world came, and that's how we got inside of these prison bodies. That's just the short form of it. There's other entities involved in that. There's been multiple entities involved in us being inside of these bodies. We've had different bodies throughout recorded history. We've even been different beings as well. So, but that's just kind of the shortened version. So now when you see all these women out there having these children, let's just talk about having these children. You think you're going to trap a man? You think he's going to love you forever? You think that it's just going to make everything okay? No. You see, it doesn't. It actually makes it worse. Guys, it is divine order to be seated with the feminine and the masculine. That is the divine order of the universe. Probably a reason why we have such a high rate of single mothers. It's probably because the Demiurge wants us to be like him. So I just wanted to point that out, okay? Not ragging on anybody. I mean, we all know life happens, but I'm just pointing it out that a lot of things that are happening are beyond your control. This is the energy that we're living under. Okay? So, I set that up to say, do you think that source energy, God, is going to allow all of us to be out in a real universe? Look what happened to the Demiurge. Running amok and was like destroying stuff. Do you think, look at all of us. Look all the conflicts you have every day. You have conflict with everybody. People get so upset on the smallest things. Do you know how that would affect the real multiverse? How your energy would affect the real multiverse if we let all of us out before our time? Because really, this place really is a school. They're not going to let you into the real universe until you can master here first. Because otherwise, they're going to have trillions of more demiurges running loose in the multiverse. So to protect the greater whole, the greater collective, source energy God, and all of us, we have to do assimilation work, very much like school. If you are in school to be a doctor, you don't just go and start operating on someone. No, you have to do the coursework first. Then you have to do the simulation of cutting someone open, or, and that's where they have you dissect, animals and things like pets and stuff like that. Because it's not going to make sense for you to just jump right in and just start, essentially killing people because you don't know what you're doing. It is the same thing with us, guys, is the same exact thing. So this whole universe is not real. It's not just the heaven matrix. You're not even real. Like I said before, we're probably on ships somewhere because we are galactic beings. We're probably on ships on our home planet with these virtual reality goggles on. And we've been doing this for millions of years until you figure it out, until you start to move up in consciousness. That is the only way into the real universe. Even the fourth dimension. The third dimension is like a shadow version of the fourth dimension. But you really got to get into the upper realms of consciousness to get into the real universe. I'm talking about the fifth dimension and beyond. But more so with getting to the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, and beyond. That's when you're getting to the real universe. So a lot of us right now are entering the fourth dimension. We're getting closer. We are getting closer. So I just wanted to point that out, and set that up. Now, guys, we are going to talk about how the government is God and God is the government. Girl, it's really all confusing. But see, many of you will know, like, you wake up in the morning, you wake up at 111, or you wake up at 222. You wake up at 333, which is the number of God. You wake up at 444. You start seeing all these same numbers when you start your spiritual awakening. And then you start to rely on those numbers. Your life is going hard. It's the Demiurge running amok that's making your life hard. He's intercepting all of your prayers, making it hard for you because he's jealous of us, because we were seated with the masculine and the feminine. That is the whole thing. He has a grudge against us, guys. That is what's going on. But you start to look for these numbers. Things are going wrong in your life, and you're like, I know my angels are talking to me. I just know that they are. Oh, today I was riding past the building and I saw 111. The address was 111, and I know that a blessing is on its way. We've all done it. We've all done it. But my question is, why do we have to look to the angels for inspiration? Why can't we look to God? Why are these not called God numbers, but they're called angel numbers? You can't even look to God. You got to look to the angels. Okay? Now, I've studied a lot of these NDEs, guys. Like I said, I've clocked hundreds, if not thousands of hours. And in every single NDE, it is the same thing. Some people come up there and they're like, oh, you're not here to stay, but go ahead and give them a tour. Guess who's showing them around? It's usually Jesus, Usually it's Jesus. Jesus got to give everybody a tour. They even use poor little Mother Mary. She'd be up there giving tours. You notice how God never shows up? They always send Jesus. There's a reason for that. See, back in the day, when there was the Old Testament, a lot of people don't know this, but people didn't like that. People didn't want to worship a God that wanted to have all the firstborn children killed and wanted to take all the virgins for itself and wanted to plague the world and wanted to destroy the world and wanted to do all these horrible demonic things to you. People were losing faith in the religion. So what did they do? They were like, we got to go to Hollywood. We got to get an image consultant for this God because people ain't buying it no more. See, they thought they could scare people into submission because all of these books and texts and stuff, although there is some truth to it, you're not going to know that truth unless you are dimested, unless you can see into the higher realms of consciousness. It is hidden. The messages are there, but they're hidden, right? So if you're just reading it verbatim, that's for the masses. The real lessons, you won't see it unless you are in the higher realms of consciousness, the 4D, 5D, and beyond. So that God was like, nope. They were like, no, we got to get rid of him because he messing up our money bag, right? People don't want to give to the church. They don't want to do it because this God is too demonic, So what are we going to do? They went to the Hollywood machine and they're like, oh, cue in a heartthrob. We're going to bring in Jesus, the heartthrob. Notice how in every picture, I don't care what picture you see of Jesus. Notice how you see sexy Jesus. Literally, he has those come hither eyes. He has that long, luscious hair. Look like he just stepped out of a Pantene commercial. He got nice skin tone, nice tan skin. I don't even care what. You can see a black picture of Jesus. He looks the same. You can see an Asian picture of Jesus. They all look like heartthrobs. Like seriously, they all look like leading characters in a movie. And that is, we don't debate on this channel whether Jesus is real or not. You've made him real because you have given him your energy. So it doesn't matter. But the point about it is, Jesus is the spokesperson for the kingdom of heaven. Right? And that's why when you go up there, they never let you see God, because the truth about it is, that God is really demonic. Nobody wants to see that God. That's why they created Jesus. That's why they needed Jesus. That's why they needed the archetype of Jesus to save the day. So when you go up there, they got Jesus razzle-dazzling you with his light, showing you around, giving you a tour. Mother Mary is giving you tours. All the archangels putting on a fancy light show for you. But notice how God don't ever show up. And then the people who say, oh yeah, I was in the presence of God. And you're like, well, what did God look like? Well, I was too afraid to look at him. What do you mean you were too afraid to look at him? It's God. This is like your opportunity to see God. But see, your religion, what they tell you in the book, oh, you can't look at God directly in the eye. That's where you get it from. So you don't know if that was God or not. Like I said, it's just a little man standing on top of a box, speaking out of a megaphone like the Wizard of Oz. Okay, this is a fake kingdom to trap your soul. It doesn't have anything to do with the God that you are worshiping. Heaven and God are two separate things. The Demiurge is up there running amok. So I say all that to say that when you pray, you notice how you're praying on, let's say I'm going to buy a new car and I'm short $1,000. I don't know how I'm going to get it. And then all of a sudden, your sister calls you and like, hey, I got some unexpected money here. I'm going to give you $1,000. You're like, oh my God, thank you, God so much. But no. It was your sister who gave you the money. The point I'm trying to make is that the kingdom of heaven is not, the God that you think is up there is not doing anything for you. The angels are giving you inspiration with their angel numbers. Jesus and Mother Mary, all the archangels, they're up there giving you tours. They're up there, consoling you. They're doing all of the work, but God never shows up. And then when you need a blessing, your sister, your family member, or something unexpected happens. But guess what? It's coming through people. It's coming through the collective. You're being blessed by the collective, but you're giving all the thanks away to God because you've been trained to do that, but you're giving credit where credit is not due. It is not due. It is the Demiurge is making your life hell, but you're giving him credit because they told you he was in the kingdom of heaven. They told you God was in the kingdom of heaven, but that's not true. No, it's not true. Demiurge is in the kingdom of heaven. So, okay, getting back on track here. So, it's being funded by the collective. All of the blessings you're getting is coming through people that you know. It's coming through the angels. The angels are providing inspiration. They're providing these numbers for you. They're even leaving feathers. Sometimes if you see random feathers on the ground, those are signs from your angels. But where's the signs from God? People are praying to Jesus. Jesus ain't even the Father. But because the Father was so horrific, now they had to contract Jesus, and that's why they won't let him go. They'll never let Jesus go. This is hypothetically speaking, of course, but just think about it. If you had someone that's bringing in so much money, you were able to capture the world with, would you ever let that entity go? So if, whether Jesus was real or not, the energy of Jesus, they'll never let go because it would kill the whole religion, because that God of the Old Testament, nobody wanted to worship him because apparently he was too evil. So all your blessings are coming through the collective. It is the same thing here on earth with the government, guys. When you pay your federal taxes, that goes to fund things on a federal level. You know, those federal jails and all of the things and programs that we have on a federal level. Guess who's funding it? It is being funded by the collective. It is being funded by you. It is not being funded by the government. Everything on a state level, when you pay your state taxes, you know, you get your highways, you get your state parks, you get so many different amenities going on in that particular state. Usually the bigger the state is, the more amenities they will have, because the more taxpayers, the more people are paying, the more the collective is putting their money in the pot, and they are paying. Guys, it is the same thing in your individual counties. When you pay your taxes, you pay your property taxes. You have amenities that some other communities don't have because the taxpayers are paying a certain amount of money, and it's all being funded by the collective. Even in your HOA, if you have a house in an HOA, you might have certain amenities there. You know, you might get your lawn might be cut as part of the fees of the HOA, or it just has, you might have like really, really nice, let's say, pools in the community and things like that. But you're funding it. It's all being funded by you. This is the point I'm trying to make. The government never funds anything. And God never gives you anything. And when I say God, I'm talking about the Demiurge. That most people are thinking that it is God up there in the heavenly realm. I'm talking about the God of the heavenly realm. I'm talking about the entity that is the Demiurge, okay? He never shows up. He leaves it to Jesus, leaves it to the angels, leaves it to the archangels, leaves it to you, leaves it to you a lot. When the blessings come through, it's always people that has to usher through the blessing. Why is that? Because it's you. You are the God. You are the God. You're more powerful than that God. That's why you're stuck in these prison bodies. It's the same thing with the government. Especially now, guys, since this whole Rona situation, this government has lost their mind. They think they control us. They think they own us. Wait a minute. You work for me. You work for me. I don't work for you. But see, people don't understand that because they put themselves on a pedestal, right? They put all the lights, camera, action around. And that's why I say the heaven is the OG movie industry. That's where they got the film and television industry from. You guys know I'm from the film and television industry. So I know exactly what I'm talking about. Heaven is the OG movie industry. They're all working together to keep you enslaved and to keep you capped consciously. So you never move on to the real universe because he can't be in it. He has to be in the simulated version too. He's here with us. If you were really God, why are you in the simulation with us? Why would you be living a fake life with us if you were really God? We're more free than you because you are in a cube. You're in a cube in the sky, really. That's what heaven is. That's what it looks like. At least we are free to evolve in our consciousness. So we have more power. We do. But see, they put themselves in high places. It all goes through the Hollywood machine. It all goes through the Hollywood machine. And so you start thinking that these beings, you start thinking that the government, they're the end all be all and you can't do anything without them. No, before you even came into this fake reality, you already had a soul essence that was rooted in balance and righteousness. The righteousness is the balance. You already knew everything. We don't need a government, neither do we need a heavenly God. We don't need it. You are God. You are the government. You are the ones handling everything. You are the ones paying to protect this nation. You are the ones risking your life to go off to war. You are the giving. You are the givers. You are the one with the giving heart and the giving spirit. You give to so many other countries. You know, especially our Christian brothers and sisters. And that's why I hate that they're being bamboozled the most. They want to suck them dry. They want to suck them dry, keep them in the delusion so they can keep ciphering money, energy from them. It's time to wake up. It's time to stand up. It's time to have understanding of who you truly are. That's why I feel good coming on here without any makeup today. Like this is, just sometimes it just feels good to not hide. I'm rocking my feathers. Sometimes it feels good not to hide. Do you know how horrible that is? You got to hide your true nationality. Because most people are lost and they don't know who. They just look at you and they say, oh, you're black. You got to hide who you truly are. No, I'm tired of hiding. This is who I am. I don't put anyone above me. And I don't put anyone beneath me. And I'm certainly not going to put the Demiurge above me. Or the government above me. We don't need them. You have everything that you've always needed. You don't need their laws. The laws is how they control you. The laws is not for your benefit. And that goes too for all these other laws. In the heavens, all these laws they say that you need to follow. It's all to get you to do what they need you to do so that they can keep their formula, so that they can keep their game going, so that they can keep themselves exalted over you, so that you can feel like crap, so that you could feel like you need to pray to them and go to them anytime you have the smallest problem. When really the God energy is all inside of you, the answers are all inside of you. So the government is God. God is the government. But really, it is you, because it's all being funded by you. All of it. Let's see, is there anything else I want to say? I think that's it. We're going to leave it right there today. We're just going to leave it right there. I hope this resonated with any of you beautiful people out there. Guys, go ahead and support me, support the channel, subscribe, and put a like on the video, guys. I love you. The birds, the bees, and the trees, well, they all love you too. Love is the way, forgiveness is the key, and truth is the light that guides us home. Be well, guys. Be well.